Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the 30 Days of Halloween. I'm really excited for this series again, you guys. Today's tutorial is going to be a special effects look on this disgusting, horrid bruise. I'm going to be using the Skin Illustrator alcohol activated palette for this tutorial. I'm going to be using some of these porous sponges and activating this palette with 99% alcohol. Before we get into this though, I'm going to take you through a little flashback. So you might be wondering what we are doing on a boat right now. Well, this is the inspiration for this video, unfortunately. It was a beautiful day on the lake, the water was gorgeous, the weather was warm, we were having the greatest time, and then the unthinkable happened. This. Yeah, I'm like so graceful. So, the left is the inside of my arm and the right is the inside of my leg. I was jumping onto a tube to go tubing and I missed and I hit the side of the boat and the rest was history. So that is my inspiration for this video. I'm going to be trying to recreate my bruises. On the bright side of things, at least it gave me a video idea. I literally hung on to those pictures specifically for this video. So anyway, what I'm doing here, let me just back it up and explain. So to activate this palette, you must use 99% alcohol. You cannot use water. You can't use anything else. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a very diluted paint, meaning I've got tons of alcohol in the palette, and I'm just laying down this color to make it look like there's some skin irritation. The more alcohol you have mixed with the paint, the more diluted the color is going to be, and the less alcohol you have mixed with the paint, the more intense the color is going to be. This type of palette is really good for, you know, bruises and veins and stuff like that, so I'll be doing tons of tutorials with this palette during this series, but this just makes it look like it's coming from within your skin, and it's actually a little bit more realistic looking than using body paints and stuff like that. So that's the reason I'm using this palette, so that's just a little background on it. What I'm doing right now is taking, like I said, a very diluted color with that porous sponge, and as you can see, it's just giving it that really nice texture. So right here on my little mixing palette, I've got the paint actually mixed with a lot less alcohol, and as you can see, it is giving me a little bit more of an opaque coverage. So what I'm doing right now is trying to create the appearance of broken capillaries. As you saw in my pictures, there were some areas on my bruises that were super duper intense like that. You're going to see me switching back and forth between that little black sponge and these cotton rounds pretty frequently. What I'm doing right here is just taking a tiny amount of alcohol on that pad, and I'm just going to be dabbing that over the area I just laid down. That's going to dilute it out a little bit and make it not look as much just like paint on my skin. So it's going to blur some of those edges so that it looks a little bit more realistic. So what I'm showing you right here is just how to clean your brush. This is just a little cup full of alcohol, and you can just wipe that onto your cotton round. So I'm doing that because I'm going to be switching colors. I'm using the bruise tone, and I'm also using this bright blue, and mixing it together is going to give it that like intense bruised purple color. So I'm just going to be dabbing that on top of what I just did. The more layers you put down for a bruise, the more realistic it's going to look. So I'm going to be layering a ton of stuff onto this area, and it just gives it a lot of depth and dimension and just makes it really look like it's realistic. I compared this to my actual pictures after I was done and was shocked like how much it actually looked like a bruise. So if you've ever had a really intense bruise like this, you know it kind of has that little greenish yellow ring around it. So just on this little cotton pad, I'm taking some of that yellow color and really lightly just wiping that around the outside edge of my bruise. I cringe calling them this, but on my inspiration pictures, the one on my leg actually had a little bit of a green tinge to the outside too. That just kind of comes with time as the bruise changes color, as it's healing. You'll notice weird little colors peeking through, so I just kind of added that around to mix with the yellow, just again to give it another layer of color and to blend with everything else that was already down there. And then I'm going back in with the yellow again and just kind of making that a little bit more intense. I looked back at my pictures and just noticed that on the edges it just was really, really yellow and discolored. What I'm doing here is going back and adding that impact point, so I'm adding a lot more color right to that little center area, and I'm just putting that down with that little lip brush that I have over there on the left. And then to blend that out, I am just dipping my finger in some alcohol and then just dabbing that over the color that I'm laying down. I just feel like when you use your fingers, sometimes it helps give it that really smooth effect and transition into the rest of the shades. So I don't know, I just really, you know, it's your natural given tools. So anyway, what I'm doing here, like I said, just adding that impact point, so I'm giving a lot more color to this specific area. If you want to reference my pictures again, feel free to. But I feel like there's always that really strong impact point kind of in the center of the bruise, and then there's like a little spot, and I noticed this in both of my bruises, but it was like a little spot where it almost just was like a hole. It looked like there was nothing there. I thought that was so strange. So what I'm doing is just going back with that sponge and adding a little bit more texture. We kind of lost that original look of those broken capillaries, so I'm just kind of adding that back over that really strong impact point that I just put down. And then kind of in that little hole area, the one that I had personally was a little yellow on the inside. So again, just putting down some yellow and tapping that out with my finger. Now that I've got this the way I like it, I'm just going back a final time with this cotton round and some alcohol. You know how you would do if you were going to be dipping like nail polish remover onto a cotton pad? You would just kind of tip the bottle. That's literally all I did, and I just kind of went over this for that final little blur and kind of, you know, tweaked that little hole spot to make it not look so perfect. And that's my final result, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to create the Special Effects Bruise. I feel like this would look so realistic. This would be great for like a zombie costume or any other kind of costume that's gory and you had some trauma. So if you guys try this out, let me know. Tweet me and Instagram me your pictures at KaitNicholeXO. And that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.